Good morning. I am A.K. Kashyap, PGT Chemistry from Atomic Energy Central School number 4, Rawatwata. Today I am going to perform an experiment based on qualitative analysis where we analyze cation and anion present in the given salt. This demonstration is for class 11th. The aim of the experiment is to determine one cation and an anion present in the given salt aluminium sulfate. Salt is known, aluminium sulfate. The cation aluminium, anion is sulfate. That we have to confirm by doing some chemical test. Before that, I would like to say that anions are divided into three categories. Dilute acid group, they combine with dilute sulfuric acid. Examples are carbonate, sulfide, nitrite, etc. Those who belong to concentrate sulfuric group means they combine with concentrate sulfuric acid like chloride, bromide, iodide, nitrate. And those who don't combine either with dilute or concentrate, they are placed in the third group, that is neutral group. While analyzing anion, first we try to analyze the group of the anion. Up to some extent, we will be able to say that this is the particular anion or this is the group of anions which may be present in the salt. Okay? Similarly, while analyzing cations, first we decide the group of cations. Cations are divided into so many groups, not in the periodic table group. These are the groups of cations. First group, second group, third group, fourth, fifth, sixth or zero group, where certain cations are available present. And each group cation has group reagent. For the cation analysis, except zero group ammonium, we prepare original solution by dissolving salt in the suitable solvent. Then group reagent is added to the original solution to determine the group of cation. Okay, student? So let me proceed. Here is the salt. Salt is with me. This salt, here it is, white. When we touch it, it is crystalline solid. White because it is the aluminium sulfate. Aluminium, no contribution towards the color. And crystalline because it is ionic substance, ionic salt, ionic compound. Ionic compounds are almost crystalline in nature. That's why here color is white. The state is crystalline solid. Crystalline solid. And solubility, we have to check its solubility, whether it is soluble in water or not. For that, we have to take test tube. Here is the test tube. Take some salt in the test tube. Here is the salt. Take some salt in the test tube. And add water to this. Here is the water was bottle, water to this. Add some amount of water to this salt and try to dissolve it. This is going to disappear. That's why we can say that this salt is water soluble. Okay? So this is the water soluble. This is called preliminary test. That is basic test. It is soluble in water. Soluble in water. While performing the test for cation, see that it is completely disappears. There is no any residue or there is no any solid particle in this. While preparing original solution, we have to dissolve salt in water. That is the original solution. Okay? So, let us proceed for the experiment. Serial number 1. Here the serial number 1. I am taking anion analysis first anion analysis, then cation. And it starts with the dilute sulfuric acid. Take a pinch of salt in the test tube. This is white in color in the test tube, and add dilute sulfuric acid. Here is the dilute sulfuric acid. This is the dilute sulfuric acid. Add few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to this. We have to hold the test tube with the test tube holder. Here is the test tube holder, and add dilute sulfuric acid. See that. Simply it is mixed with that, going to dissolve, but it is not going to combine. It means no reaction. No reaction in the sense, what should be written here? Dilute sulfuric acid test. This can be written as dilute sulfuric acid test. And here is salt. I am writing in salt. It's a complete statement. Take a small amount of salt in the test tube and add dilute sulfuric acid. This wording should be there. Salt plus dilute H2SO4. Okay, this is done here. No change is going on. Change means some bubbles may come out because of formation of the gas. Some different colors may appear, which shows the reaction between salt and acid. That is not there. Then what is the observation? No reaction. An inference, what we conclude on the basis of this experiment and observation? Dilute group absent. Dilute group absent. What does it mean? It means that whatever anions belong to the dilute group, no one is there in the salt. Means we need not to perform carbonate, sulfide, nitrite test. No one is there in the salt. Okay? This is the serial number 1. Means we have identified that first group of anion is not present there. We need not to perform the test for the anions of the dilute group. Now, again, serial number 2. We have to proceed for the concentrate sulfuric acid group. Take the salt and add concentrate sulfuric acid in the same manner as it is done previously. Here is the salt plus concentrate H2SO4, concentrate sulfuric acid. Here again I am taking that. Here is the salt in the test tube. Some water is there. Salt, add test tube in this way. If the test tube is straight, salt will fall down directly, and add concentrate sulfuric acid. Here it is, concentrate sulfuric acid. It is a highly viscous and quite reactive substance, so be careful. Here it is, concentrate sulfuric acid into the salt. See that there is no any gas formation. Simply the sulfuric acid is quite denser. That's why salt is floating upside, but not going to combine. This shows that there is again no reaction. Here is observation, no reaction. Okay? Because no gas is formed, no any color change is there. And here, concentrate group absent. It means there is no chloride, bromide, iodide, nitrate, etc. We need not to perform their tests. The concentrate group is not there. That's why we have to wash it again. Here, it may, at this stage we can say it may be sulfate, it may be phosphate, because these anions, they don't combine with dilute sulfuric acid or concentrate sulfuric acid. It may be sulfate or phosphate. Up to some extent we can say it may be sulfate SO4 2 minus or phosphate PO4 3 minus. Okay. Then we have to proceed for the confirmatory test for the sulfate. Here the serial number 3. And this test is called a barium chloride test. Here, barium chloride test. Barium chloride test. What we have to do in this test? We have to take an aqueous solution of the salt, take a small amount of salt, add water, dissolve it completely, add barium chloride. Barium chloride contains chloride ion, that's why we can also add dilute hydrochloric acid before adding barium chloride. Because of the common ion, barium chloride only small amount will be able to perform the experiment. That's why we are adding hydrochloric acid, which is a strong acid and having chloride ion as a common ion present in the barium chloride. Proceed. Let us see the test. Take the salt again in the test tube. Here is the salt. Add water to this salt to make its aqueous solution. Near about 1/3 of the test tube or near about that, and dissolve it. By shaking in this way, we can dissolve the salt. Dissolve the salt in test tube. This salt is water soluble, that's why it disappears. Add hydrochloric acid. This is the hydrochloric acid, dilute hydrochloric acid. Small amount, few drops of that, not much amount. Few drops of hydrochloric acid is needed, no changes there. Then add barium chloride solution. Here is the BaCl2, barium chloride solution. Add barium chloride. You can see white precipitate appears. Complete test tube is filled with white precipitate. If we keep for some time, the particles will come down and they will settle down. This is due to the formation of insoluble salt of barium along with the sulfate, and the salt is barium sulfate. Barium sulfate is white in color, it is insoluble in water, that's why we get the white precipitate in this experiment. Okay, so what to do here? Barium chloride test. Aqueous solution of salt plus dilute HCl plus BaCl2, barium chloride solution. This is the experiment. Take a small amount of salt in the test tube, add sufficient water to make its aqueous solution, acidify with dilute HCl and add barium chloride solution. This is the experiment. Observation: white precipitate, white PPT, white precipitate appears. White precipitate appears. This shows the presence of sulfate. Sulfate is present. SO4 2 minus may present. Sulfate anion may present there. We are not sure. This is the one confirmation. Up to some extent, we are sure that the given salt contains sulfate. It contains sulfate ion. So, next is that is the fourth one, that is confirmation test. Fourth confirmation test is called a lead acetate test. lead acetate test. This is the fourth one. What to do in this test? Take the salt in the same way. Take the small amount of salt in the test tube. Make its aqueous solution. Add water to this to make its aqueous solution. Here sufficient water. Dissolve it completely. It may disappear and the solution becomes colorless, just like water. Here it is. Colorless solution is obtained. We are going to add lead acetate. And before lead acetate, we can add dilute acetic acid solution. Here acetic acid containing acetate ion and lead acetate also contains acetate ion. So there is a common ion and in that way we are going better result. Here is the acetic acid solution, dilute acetic acid, and we have to add few drops of dilute acetic acid solution to acidify the solution. This is acidified with dilute acetic acid and add lead acetate solution. Here is the lead acetate solution. Add lead acetate solution to this. See that. This white precipitate again appears. White precipitate is formed. Here is the white precipitate. See that the particles are going to settle down. It is quite heavier. The settling of the particles is started and solution is going to be transparent from upper side. This shows that sulfate ion was there which combines with lead and forms lead sulfate. Lead sulfate is water insoluble. See that precipitation, we can notice the precipitation and the particles are going to settle, leaving behind the colorless solution. There is the water. See that we can see the white deposit at the bottom. That is due to settling of the precipitate. This is the fast process. Lead acetate quite heavier. That's why the precipitate is settled at the bottom. Okay? So in this way, we are confirmed that here lead acetate test in the same way to the aqueous solution, acidify with dilute acetic acid and add lead acetate solution. Again we get white precipitate and here inference sulfate SO4 minus is confirmed. Sulfate anion is confirmed in the salt. See that this is quite colorless and the complete precipitate, almost complete precipitation is over. So this is the confirmation of the sulfate. Okay. Then we have to go for cation analysis. Anion sulfate is confirmed by doing these 4 experiments. Now we have to confirm the anion. Cation. Cation for cation test. We have to start with ammonium test because ammonium is very common. So many salts are containing ammonium cation. For that we have to add NaOH. If ammonium is there, ammonia smell will come out and it will give white fumes with dilute hydrochloric acid glass rod. So what to do? Take sodium hydroxide. Here is the sodium hydroxide, salt and sodium hydroxide. Add sodium hydroxide to this. Here is the glass rod is ready. Hydrochloric acid. This is the way. Dilute hydrochloric acid and along with that there is a glass rod. Add glass rod over that here. No any fume formation is going on. It means ammonia gas is not coming out and it is not having any cation of like ammonium. Ammonium is not there. So dissolve the salt again. We have to proceed for the next test. I am taking the fresh test tube. Take the test tube here, and starting from group 1, we have to prepare original solution. For that I have some bigger test tube. This is known as boiling tube. We need the original solution, much quantity, to conform the cation. That's why take the salt. Here is the salt, and add sufficient water to make original solution. Here. This is enough. Original solution in water. Salt is soluble in water. That's why we can prepare original solution in water only. It is soluble in water. It dissolves in water. Take a small amount of original solution here. Small amount of original solution in the test tube, and add group reagent of first group of the cation, and that group reagent is dilute hydrochloric acid. Here is the original solution, and add dilute hydrochloric acid. Dilute hydrochloric acid. Add few drops of hydrochloric acid to the original solution. Here it is. Observation: no reaction, there is no change, no any bubble or color change seen in this test tube. Actually, in this case, we have to see the color of the solution. That is no change. Gas won't come out because the solution is quite dilute. Here is. What I have taken? In salt we can write OS for original solution. Original solution plus dilute HCl, hydrochloric acid. Observation: no reaction. Reaction is not there. No reaction. Observation: on the basis of this process, we can say that dilute group, that is the group 1 absent, cations group 1, group 2, first group absent. First group absent. Cation of the first group is lead, it means lead is not there. First group cation absent. This is the one. Then the another one for group 2. We have to proceed for group 2. Original solution plus dilute HCl plus H2S. H2S, hydrogen sulfide. I have taken original solution. Dilute HCl just I have added in this to confirm the absence of first group. First group is not there. In the same solution, I can add group reagent of second group, that is H2S. H2S in presence of HCl. Here I have prepared H2S. I have prepared a H2S solution because H2S gas storing is difficult and keeps apparatus. We have to keep outside where we have to pass the gas. That's why I have dissolved H2S gas in this water. H2S gas is soluble in water. That solution can be used for some time. So that's why I have taken the H2S solution by dissolving H2S gas in this and add this H2S solution in this test tube. No reaction again, no changes seen. Here, again no reaction. This shows that second group cation is not there, no reaction. Second group absent. Okay. Now we have to proceed for the next group. In this way we have to say that this group cation is not there, this group cation is not there, till we are going to get precipitate by adding a group reagent of a particular group. we can say that the remaining groups are absent. This is the systematic analysis. Again, I prepared the original solution earlier. Take a small amount of original solution again. Here, original solution. And add group reagent of third group. And third group reagent is ammonium hydroxide in presence of ammonium chloride. Ammonium hydroxide we have to add. Here is the original solution. Add ammonium chloride in this. This is the ammonium chloride solid form. Add a pinch of ammonium chloride to that. Here is. This is also soluble in water. Dissolve it. Completely disappears. It is soluble in water. And then ammonium hydroxide solution. Ammonium hydroxide, here it is, ammonium hydroxide solution. Ammonium hydroxide to this. See the change. This is the change in the test tube. This is gelatinous, white gelatinous precipitate is formed, just like gelatin. This is the aluminium hydroxide, white gelatinous precipitate form. This shows that third group present. You can see that colorless, then white gelatin not going to settle down, and again colorless. Then white gelatinous precipitate is formed. And this shows that third group cation present. Then what is to be written here? Original solution plus NH4OH in presence of NH4Cl, ammonium chloride. Here it is ammonium chloride. What is the need of ammonium chloride? This ammonium chloride is a strong salt, ionized completely. That's why it checks the ionization of ammonium hydroxide. That's why we need ammonium chloride. Here this shows that third group cation present. Observation, white gelatinous. White gelatinous precipitate is formed. And here third group present. It may be Al3 positive ion, aluminium ion may present there. Al3 positive. This is the one step of the confirming the presence of third group cation, aluminium. Now the final test for this is, we have to go for the Lake test. This is called Lake test. Fifth one, Lake test, or it is also called Blue Lake test. Okay. Here is the test tube. Take original solution in this. Here is the original solution. This is the final test. That's why we need not use any more original solution. This is the final one. Original solution plus hydrochloric acid plus HCl, hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid, this is the hydrochloric acid to acidify this. Here it is, hydrochloric acid. No color change. It is acidified with hydrochloric acid. Then add blue litmus solution. Here is the blue litmus solution. Medium is acidic and we are going to add blue litmus solution. Then see the change. This blue litmus turns red because medium is acidic. Aluminum is there, HCl is added, we have added blue litmus. Now we get the red solution and here the colorless. Then add ammonium hydroxide in excess. Here is the ammonium hydroxide again. Ammonium hydroxide. Add ammonium hydroxide in this. See the change. Floating blue precipitate appears. Again we get the blue precipitate. See that? Blue, then slight purple and colorless. Tricolor is obtained. This is the called Lake test. Formation of floating blue precipitate forms which confirms the presence of aluminium. Here we can write Lake test, original solution plus dilute HCl plus blue litmus solution and ammonium hydroxide. Observation, floating blue precipitate appears and inference, aluminium is confirmed. Okay, in this way we are able to confirm aluminium as a cation in the given salt. Finally, we are knowing the cations and anions present. One cation is aluminium, one anion is the sulfate. We can write result finally. The result is finally the result is needed. The given salt contains cation. Cation is aluminium, Al3 positive, aluminium ion. Anion is sulfate, SO4 2 minus. Sulfate is the anion. And the compound is, salt is, compound or salt is aluminium sulfate. Aluminium sulfate. This is the way. Finally, we have to write a chemical equation involved in the tests where chemical reaction required. In front of that, on left side, we have to write the chemical equation so that we are able to find this color change is because of which compound. Okay, I think it is clear to you and you will be able to do the experiment, perform the experiment later on. Thank you. Thank you very much.